What's up, everyone? So, you clicked on this video because you feel like you don't belong in this world. I totally understand. I have been there many times, especially while growing up. I just felt like something was weird with me, that I was just, didn't fit in, that everyone else was destined to succeed when I shouldn't, and that, people didn't like me. People thought I was weird. I had really bad self esteem issues when I was younger. And I've definitely made huge steps to overcoming it. But also, I think part of this never really truly goes away. I'm here to tell you, hey, you're not alone, okay? You're not someone who's isolated. You're not someone who you're the only person, okay, who feels this way. I promise you, so many people feel the same way as you. And actually, it's a blessing feeling like you don't belong. A blessing that you feel like, you know, things are different for you. Because you know why? Why would you want to like completely fit in? Why would you want to be someone who's like someone like a sheep in the herd, someone who's just like everyone else, someone who is just a number. You feel that way because you are actually special. You're someone who has great things destined for them. You just got to discover what exactly. I think that's the issue, is knowing what exactly is your calling, what exactly is the reason why you feel this way, because you feel it's a blessing, not a curse, not the universe is trying to hurt you, or God's trying to hurt you, or hates you, or whatever, which you can easily fall into that trap like we all have, right? But something where you feel like you don't belong because you know why? You're the type of person who's destined to do great things, destined to, even if it's just help out one person. I went through a lot of pain in my childhood. Not that like I grew up in a bad household or anything. We were like lower middle class, whatever. It could have been way, 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 way worse. However, I just felt like I didn't belong in school. I felt like, I was different. I was weird. You know, Girls didn't like me, this and that. And I'm actually glad looking back that happened to me, even though, like, yeah, it sucks for the kid version of myself, but I can help out people today. We go through pain and struggle, and if we just help out someone later on, go get through that, man, that's a huge blessing, dude. Huge, huge blessing. So, versus imagine if you have a kid one day or someone you love and they asking advice like, hey, I don't feel like I belong. I feel like I'm a loser, this and that. And in your head, you're like, well, I never had that issue. Like you can't help someone unless you've been through that pain and struggle. And one of the biggest ways of helping you get through this yourself is by helping other people out, man. I remember seeing this thing online. It was like, if you feel down, depressed, do these things like go exercise, go for a run or go to the gym, go help someone else out, go help out someone who's less fortunate than you. And, if you do those things, you're not going to be depressed. You're going to be very like, oh, even if it just helps out a little bit, you're going to be like, oh, okay, right. I feel better because I worked out, had a healthy meal, and I went and helped someone out who's doing way worse than I am. Now all of a sudden, like, things are feeling better. I remember one time in particular, man, I went through something really, man, what's the word to describe this? But it was very traumatic thing to go through as like a 21-year-old. Okay, I remember my dad was like, "Hey, listen, there's so many people out there in this world who wish they can trade problems with you and be in your situation, and you be in their situation. People who are going through way worse stuff than you. And I remember hearing one thing online too, whether you love him or hate him, RFK Jr. saying, "Hey, the normal kid has like 1,000 dreams, right? I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a fighter pilot. I want to be a NASCAR driver. Blah blah blah. But a kid who's sick only has one dream, and that's to feel better. Okay, so imagine right now, man, that you are on your, you're gonna die in a couple months or whatever. You have this illness. That's the only thing you're thinking about, man. You don't fucking everything else is whatever. You just would think about one thing, man. I wish I could live. I wish I could live. I wish I could feel better. I wish I could get better. So a lot of our issues, man. Chances are, 99.9% of the people who are gonna watch this video who resonate with this title, you know, chances are whatever you're going through, man, yeah, it sucks. I get it, man. And you can't, I'm not trying to hear to be like, hey, suck it up. But also think about there's so many people out there who are going through worse. No matter, even if you think you are, oh man, well fuck that, I'm going through something really bad right now. Man, there's motherfucking motherfucking people in other countries who are like, damn, I would trade fucking places in a heartbeat to have your situation because I got this shit going on way worse, man. There's people right now who are going through some very horrible stuff. We live in the United States of America. We got to be grateful. We live in the Western civilization. We got to be grateful, man. Yeah, it doesn't mean our problems end. I think it's just basically our problems get more advanced, you know, versus someone who's struggling for food and stuff, People in the United States don't die of starvation, man. They die of like obesity because there's too much food and too much shit food versus other countries, they're struggling from food, man, and water. So it's just kind of different ways of thinking of it, man. Also think of it too, like, how can this help me? A lot of times things don't happen to you, they happen for you. Think about how you can reframe your problem right now into being like, how can this help me out if I decide to look at the silver lining about it? Am I going to be like, oh, I'm a victim? Or, oh, man, yeah, this really sucks, but you know what? When I make it through, how much stronger I'm going to be? That thing that happened to me when I was 21 years old, very, very, very traumatic, to the point where I literally was Googling ways of how to unalive myself and literally think about which one I was going to fucking choose. And man, I stuck it through, man. It just remember just like day by day, second by second, stuck it through. Ended up, going to CrossFit and eating super healthy. Became obsessed. I was like, what? Let me channel this dark energy towards obsession with getting fit. I became really fit, man. I remember I made it through finally, dude. I remember at one point, and I moved to a different state, dude, and I was like, man, I was having the time of my life, and I was like, fuck, man, I'm enjoying this way, way more now because I had to go through fucking hell and back not too long ago. Okay, so once you break it through, guys, and make it to the other side, think about it. It's kind of like you haven't fucking drink water and you want this long fucking run and scorching hot outside. Man, when you taste that water, finally, it tastes like fucking heaven, right? It tastes absolutely amazing. It's just normal water, same fucking water you've been drinking, but it tastes like the best thing you ever had, right? It's how it's going to be, man. Once you break it through, it's going to be like, fuck, I feel great. I am so happy I went through that because it made me better, man. There's people out there, bro, who went to war, who lost their limb. Like, actually, you know what? There's a story I heard. This guy who went to Vietnam, who fought in Vietnam, and him and like two of his buddies got captured, and they were in the worst, like, uh, prisoners camp in Vietnam. And there's some really, really gnarly ones out there, man. And you know what? He made himself think, all right, I'm here. What can I do to make myself go through this better? His other buddy ended up unaliving himself because he just couldn't take it. Other buddy, I think died because he got sick because he was like depressed. But he's like, man, this is torture. And I think he went through it for like close to 10 years, if I remember the story right. And because I remember hearing from like a Tony Robbins tape, and Tony was like, hey, man, well, would you, if you could go back and, prevent yourself from going through that experience? He goes, no way in hell. He goes, I am so happy I went through that fucking horrible experience because it made me enjoy my life, maybe dig deeper and find the beauty in everyday life. And, it's who I am today because I went through that terrible, horrible shit. And this is some guy who went through some crazy shit in Vietnam, a prisoners camp for 10 years. So, guys, I'm telling you, whatever situation you think you're going through right now, there's someone who's going through worse, gone through worse, will go through worse, who will trade situations with you, man. And I'm telling you, if you could look up, man, you can get up. Listen to these Tony Robbins, to Les Brown, to Zig Ziglar, all these people, these motivational speakers, man. Listen on repeat, man. This is not you going through a shitty experience because life hates you, but you're being planted, man. You're being like stuck into the ground and dirt top on top of you. And that's how you make a big ass tree, right? You gotta fucking be buried in the dirt and have mud and water over you and fucking go. Like, there's just one bamboo plant, I think, that grows before it grows up. It grows down, like it's underneath. It's like in this dormant phase for a long time. Dormant phase, dormant phase, dormant phase. And then one day, after like a long time of being in this dormant phase, shoots up and grows so fucking tall, so fucking quickly, man. That's exactly what you're going through. Is that you're being planted right now, and you're being told and made by life to benefit you through this shitty fucking phase, so you can snap out of it and get the fuck out of it and become 10 times fucking stronger because of it, 100 times stronger, and help out some fucking person because of it. Okay, so I'm not gonna keep beating a dead horse with this, but guys, you can choose either to be like, woe is me, or like, wow, thank you for this opportunity to get stronger and to enjoy life more and to see the bright side of life, and eventually help out someone else one day. All right. So that's all I got for now, guys. If you're gonna reach out, talk to me, shoot me a comment. But anyways, you got this. Okay. Peace out.